On the Universal movie timeline. Check it out. Look, the very first movie poster, Damon and Pythias, released in 1914. That was our very first film. The very first film released by Universal Studios. As we take you down the Universal movie timeline, you're seeing some movie posters around here. These are just a few examples of the thousands of movies Universal has made throughout the years. Our rich legacy in filmmaking began in 1912, continues on to today, from the Hollywood classics we all grew up with to the biggest blockbusters of all time. Some shot here on our lot. On March 15, 1915, the founder of our movie studio, Carl Laemmle, opened up the gates of the movie studio. So this March 15, 2025, Universal Studios celebrated its 110th year anniversary. Yes, 110 years for us. On the right, you're seeing Fire Station 51. That's a real fire station. Those are real firefighters. They're not actors, and we're leaving the real world behind right there. As we take you inside the world of cinematic make-believe, but first, to your left, they're building a roller coaster. That's the new Fast and Furious Hollywood Drift roller coaster opening up here next year. All right, we're getting into our front lot here. All together here at Universal, we have about 36 sound stages. If you don't know what a sound stage looks like, soon on the left you'll see our largest, Stage 12. Throughout the year, Stage 12 has been used to build some of the biggest sets, like Frankenstein's Lab. Here in our front lawn, we shot some of these shows throughout the years. All right, and if you look to your left, you're going to notice every soundstage has a large door. Those are the elephant doors. If any of them are open, look inside. Sometimes you'll see sets in there. They're building sets or dismantling them. Every soundstage also has a small door, the stage door. And above all stage doors, you're going to see a red light. That's the wigwag light. When they're ready for filming, the director yells out the word action. The wigwag light turns on, letting us know out here they're filming in there, so you have to be very quiet. Even though sound stages are 98% soundproof. So I'm looking out for those wigwag lights. If they're on, I have to be quiet, okay? Recently, we're filming here season 4 of Bel Air. The fourth and final season of Bel Air, which drops this fall on our streaming platform Peacock with Jabari Banks and Ollie Schulten on the left. You see the trailers of the stars for Bel Air, where they do their hair, their makeup, their wardrobe, take their breaks, go over their scripts. Here's some Bel Air.
You got me a little bit of so what is you put egg on the cheese, you put cheese on the eggs, on the cheese. It's right. Whoa, this is here. No, it's gotta be a lot. We can probably fit the whole Bel Air cast. But we gotta get one of these bitches. And for sure, you look at the yard. Today, Sunday Mansion lives right here on the Universal Lot. Right? Some of Bel Air's most beautiful scenes right here. Jabari, maybe your most memorable moments. There's so many to choose from. You know, Al, before yourself, when Will first enters, and at that moment, his life changes for good. What about you? Well, the Bel Air Academy gym set is here too, and I remember you having to sit in that cold ice bath for hours. Yeah, that was really nice. I couldn't feel my toes. No, but seriously, my favorite part of this lot is the talented crew all together. Hair, wardrobe, makeup, set design, props, and transportation. Yes, Transpo's the best. Sweetest vibes for us to play with. Actually, speaking of, if we're gonna get a ride like this, we have to go talk to Transpo now and let this kid get back to the team. Yeah, sounds good.
Again, you can catch Bel Air streaming on our streaming platform Peacock. And I want y'all to say hello to my little friends here. They are the Minions. Say hi to the Minions, hiding behind the bushes. Hi, Minions. Aren't they cute? They work for Illumination, the same production company that did the Super Mario Brothers movie. Behind the Minions, you see stage 1819. Right now it's being used for a show called 5-Star Weekend. It was also used for a show called The Paper, which premieres on September 4th on Peacock. And Station 19 was used to film scenes for our Academy Award-winning movie Oppenheimer, which gave us our 11th Academy Award win for Best Motion Picture. On the left, you're seeing a bear. That's Ted, everybody. What's up, Ted? Take pictures. Ted's a big star. Ted has not only made movies, Ted has been filming his own TV show here in our movie studio. Season 1 is streaming on Peacock. He's been working on Season 2. Behind Ted, you're seeing a series of small buildings we call bungalows. And these are offices for some of Hollywood's top writers, directors, producers in town who have a development deal with our movie studio, like Mark Platt Productions. Mark Platt is a producer of one of our films recently in theaters, How to Train Your Dragon, and the other film of ours that has been in theaters and the second half is coming out later this year. That's Wicked. Yes, with Cynthia Erivo and Ariana Grande. The second half is called Wicked for Good, coming out later this year. Very exciting. But we're nearing a bungalow on the left, number 5195. It has a very important profile. The profile of director Alfred Hitchcock, director of Birds and Psycho. Check it out.
My name is Alfred Hitchcock.
That used to be Hitchcock's original production office. And soon on the left, you're going to be seeing Soundstage 26. Right now, they're filming a comedy called St. Dennis Medical. I'm going to play the preview, but if they're filming, I'll have to lower the volume, okay?
I love the buzzword. It's sort of a Coachella type vibe. St. Dennis Regional Medical. St. Dennis Regional Medical.
That woman is a lot.
She's just quirky. St. Dennis Regional Medical.
St. Dennis Medical. All episodes streaming now. Watch NBC on Peacock.
There's Soundstage 26. Again, I'm looking out for the wig wax. If they turn on, I have to go quiet. But we say goodbye to the front lot. Hello to the back lot, where the world is literally just right around the corner. Okay, soon on the right, you're going to be seeing tall buildings. They look like they're made out of brick and stone. In reality, they're made out of fiberglass, foam, rubber, metal, and wood. They're what we call facades. They're just the fronts and sides of the buildings. We built here everything the camera needs to see, all exterior scenes. Also coming up on the right, you're going to see our very own Brownstone Street. Lots of celebs out there throughout the years, like Bruce Almighty with Jim Carrey.
Raise the door!
Jennifer Aniston, and their little dog, too. You see the grass on the right? That's the grass that the dog used. That's real grass. It's not fake. Take pictures. You see, not everything in Hollywood is fake. But beyond the grass, you see the exterior of the hospital they used for St. Dennis Medical. And we're about to take you inside an area you might recognize from an iconic movie called Back to the Future with Michael J. Fox and Christopher Lloyd. There's the clock tower where Doc Brown sent Marty McFly Back to the Future. Since Back to the Future, that building looks a little different today. That building has evolved because, you know, since Back to the Future, lots of productions have shot here. Most recently, Bel Air was filming here. In fact, look to your right. See that great building there? That building, they dressed it up for Bel Air to look like a bookstore. But when they were filming Ted here, that same building, they dressed it up to look like a Dunkin' Donuts. Ted takes place in Boston in '93. And for Ted, that building right there, the clock tower, is the high school. But I want y'all to start spreading the news. We're headed right now. That's my best Broadway voice, everybody. As we take you inside New York, our New York Street comes complete with its own Macy's, its own Broadway theaters. You know who's no stranger to New York? My co-host, Jimmy Fallon.
Hey everyone, Saturday Night Live. This is actually my old neighborhood. What's that mug over there? That old woman. Tough lady. This is my favorite hot dog guy. Hey buddy, how's it going? Remember me? No. just like old times. Gotta love New York City. Hey, I'm walking here. Hey, it's cool, guys. I was just walking there. So it's not exactly New York, but a lot of times when you see New York in the movies, it was shot right here on the Universal Metro sets. If you can make it here, you can make it anywhere. Even if you make it here on the Universal lot.
That's right. New York doesn't just represent New York, it also represents any metropolitan area in the world. With the work and collaboration between the production designers, art directors, prop masters, and the hundreds of people that work behind the cameras whom help bring these stories to life. This was dressed up to look like Gotham City for Batman and Robin. Most recently, they dressed it up to look like Boston in 1993 for Ted. Yeah, they even added street phones. You remember the pay phones you put in a quarter and make the call? Some of you do. For others, it's vintage. But a lot of high-profile directors have collaborated with us here at Universal throughout the years, from Alfred Hitchcock to Steven Spielberg to Angelina Jolie to Academy Award-winning director Peter Jackson.
It's the original King Kong that made me want to do movies. I saw that movie on TV when I was about 8 or 9 years old. I wanted to become a filmmaker. I like films that just take you away from your mind and sweep you up the edge. Kong literally does that. I mean, you're on board the ship, you're sailing to a lost island, you're encountering the monsters and creatures from prehistoric times. So I was thrilled when Universal invited me back to Skull Island. It was great to have you along for the ride. Now we have created this 3D immersive experience, so you've got to put your glasses on.
All right, everyone, please remain seated. Hold on to those personal belongings. No flash. Welcome to Skull Island.
Skull Island. My friends, you can't complain. You just finished meeting the biggest star here in Hollywood, King Kong. And you know what? You're not going to need your 3D glasses anymore. Keep them handy. You will be returning them at the end of the tour. The epic battle scene was projected on one of the world's largest 3D
screen, standing over 40 feet tall, 180 feet long. Utilizing some of the most modern-day technologies in filmmaking, the movie was designed by Peter Jackson and the team at Weta FX. The filmmakers at Weta FX have won 7 Academy Awards, worked on movies like King Kong, Avatar, Lord of the Rings, Hobbit trilogies, to name a few. But we're headed right behind King Kong's original home, New York. Now, the last thing I told you about New York was that they dressed it up to look like Boston in 1993 for Ted. So let me show you some Ted that shot here and in Courthouse Square.
Hi everyone, Seth MacFarlane here, and I'm excited to share with you a behind-the-scenes look at my Peacock original event series, TED. It's a prequel series set in 1993. That means our skilled craftspeople had to build a high school, a house, and even recreate downtown Boston as it looked back in the day, using exterior sets and facades you're about to see on the tour. But I should warn you, TED is intended for mature audiences only. So grown-ups, tell the kids to go in the other room before you watch. Oh, come on!
From Skull Island to New York to Boston to London. Here we are, everybody, where the world is literally just right around the corner. This is London Square, the mural, the yellow buildings. If you look at the buildings here,